YouTuber. So in this video, going to compare Gigabyte B760m Gaming X AX DDR4 to the Gigabyte B660 Gaming X AX DDR4. All right, full size ATX, micro ATX. That's one of the big differences right off the bat. Chipset wise, B760 to B660. Okay, that is where does that really come into play? Are they that different? Well, if you have a 12th gen CPU, maybe you're not going to notice too many differences between these two. If you have a 13th gen, that's going to really matter because of the aspect of if you're buying it new, this one out of the box is good to go with 12th and 13th gen. Out of the box right now, as of February, actually today's March 1st, March 1st, 2023, you most likely, if you're buying this new, will need a BIOS update. Or if you buy it used off of eBay, unless they said they particularly updated the BIOS, you will need a BIOS update. All right. We already discussed DDR4, 4 RAM slots for those. All right. Other things that are very similar, your 24-pin power connector. This has 3 spots for M.2s. I believe these are all Gen 4 if I remember correctly. And if not, this one's definitely Gen 4. Over here, both of these are Gen 4 for the M.2s. You have one heatsink and then the other is open. CMOS battery on this motherboard's here, over here, and that location. Now this has additional full-size PCIe cards or PCIe slots, and of course, if you have a graphics card, PCIe 4.0, you'll want to stick it in the armor-plated one, right? That's your PCIe 4.0 by 16. Where this one's PCIe 4.0 by 4, and I don't remember offhand what these are, but most likely those are not 4.0 by 16. They're probably 4.0 by 4. A lot of similarities as far as the features go here. One thing you'll notice, surprisingly, Gigabyte went away from these protected ports, which I definitely like this. This is what you see on their nicer motherboards. This is what you see on cheaper motherboards like this Gigabyte B760M DS3H. It doesn't have that same kind of protection. It also kind of ensures that you put your connectors in 90 degrees instead of coming in at an angle. Or if, somehow your connector is getting stretched and it's starting to bend, less likely to be able to do that with those. Talked about the socket, right? So your CPU is going to go in here. Get that open on either one of these. You would pop that open. Both going to come with a black cover. This has a CPU installed in it, so I just kind of left it with the cooler on there so you can kind of see what it looks like. Now, one thing that is different looking at it from this angle, the heat sinks are ever so slightly different. This actually looks like it has more surface area on it, which should, mean that it's got a better cooling ability than the one next to it. The same with in the back here compared to this. Now, better materials, might make up for that, right? But for some reason, the B660 looks a little better in that regard. We're kind of jumping all over the place, but both these have Type-C Charlie. You can see that on this one, and I just hit the camera. USB 3.2. They both have only one, all right? Which is some other boards you'll find 2 of those. And that only matters if your case has like 4 USB 3.2s on it. SATA, this has 2 vertical, 2 horizontal here, and you've got 4 horizontal on this one. Your front panel connectors over here, same quantity as both, except once again this one's got the protective cover on it. This motherboard's going to have a few more case fan headers, as you'll see, a couple here, where this one has a very limited amount of them. USB 2.0 headers right here and over here, the protected ones. Both of these have RGB and ARGB headers, both at this spot, and let's see, at the very top, this one has it as well as over here, right? So you're probably pretty good there if you want ARGB on here. I previously had, I just took this off, a 5300 RPM fan on here, which, you know, is pretty loud, but just something to play with. So besides the size, right, you will need a bigger case for this than you need with this. You can get away with a mini tower, where this needs at least a mid tower to fit it in, or full size. And this will fit in full size as well. The only other thing back here, and I'll just show you one because the other one looks the same. You have a 1x8 and another fan header here. Now this guy, actually I might as well show you this. I don't think it has a header. Yeah. This has your CPU power connector, but no additional fan header back there. Let's go ahead and rotate these so you guys can see them side to side. And you probably shouldn't rotate it like I'm doing it, but you know. All right, so looking at these from these angle, folks, not identical, right? The B660 actually has a much better setup. That kind of surprises me. Now, when I did the unboxing, I failed to mention the display ports, so hopefully I won't forget this time. Let's talk about what's the same. 4 USB 2.0 ports. All right. Then we've got Wi-Fi 6 Echo. I think this one is just Wi-Fi 6, if I remember correctly. DisplayPort and HDMI here. Same with over here. Then you have, this one's got a dedicated USB BIOS port labeled, right? And then the USB 3.2. Over here, they're kind of swapped, if you can see that. And just make sure that this is centered a little better. So over here we have, this one is the BIOS USB port here. Then we've got a USB 3.2. This one may actually be Gen 2. I'm not sure why they didn't make it blue. Your 2.5 gig, both of those. Now here's really the main difference. Both of these have mic, headphone line out, but this one adds side, rear, and subwoofer out. All right, so for those of you that are into audio video stuff, this is better. Now I don't have a full-size B760 Gaming X AX to see if they brought this in. Obviously, you can check that out online, and I did not do that before this video. You may be able to find that the full size has all that stuff. So just a little comparison if you're out shopping. Talked obviously about the size, the features, what's similar between these, what are the differences, and overall, if you're going 13th gen, going with B760 may be worth your time as far as the headache goes. Now, I already have a video out here for updating the BIOS, going through the BIOS and using the flashback button. Eventually I'll add one for this, all right? In that video, when I do that, we'll show you how to update this without having a CPU or GPU installed. That's the nice thing about this BIOS update button, that you can do on either one of these. Right now, all I would need is basically this motherboard, a power supply, and the downloaded file that's been renamed on a thumb drive that's formatted FAT32, and I could update the BIOS on this as well as the other motherboard. Now, once again, out of the box, this is good for 12th and 13th gen. This one is not, right? So this is where, if you buy it new, you will have to do the BIOS update. That's going to do it for this video, folks. Thanks for checking it out. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.